Okay. So a couple of these here today, but I'll try and kick off anyway. And hopefully Igor can join us. I know he wanted to talk specifically about the second topic there regarding the deployment projects. So if you can just, what's that, the names myself. In terms of the PR and issue review, sent us the email on Monday. There are two items I had put in here to highlight, and one from Graham Hayes as well. So specifically, the OpenStack Cinder v1, v2 auto detection of the API. There were some comments on that pull request yesterday because I'd redirected someone who'd filed an issue to that PR, just highlighting that it addressed the issue they filed, or attempted to address it at least, so they had posted some comments on that. It also, though, needs a rebase to pick up the rack space to go for cloud transition, along with a number of other things in the queue. So that's an invasive rebase that's still outstanding on that one. Adding support for the KVM for iSCSI driver. I marked that okay to test today, so the jobs, I believe, have now run, although I think the ready to merge job is still hung up because we haven't targeted a milestone yet. The other thing with this one is we need to probably do some more specific testing on an OpenStack environment. The format looks correct to me, but it seems like there might be something else to consider there.
No.
Sorry, go on.
Just said hello. I don't know, have you started or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the last of the PRs that's had been put in the agenda, the OpenStack load balancer refactor. So this also needs to be rebased against the rack space, or rebased, sorry, against Angus's rack space to go for cloud commit, which is now merged. I think Graham was largely, as he mentions here, just looking for feedback on the current structure before he goes through that rebase, because it's going to be fairly invasive rebase. So he probably just wants to integrate any other feedback at the same time as he's doing that. Does anyone have any comments on those three or any other PRs or issues they'd like to highlight? Okay, so I guess we'll move on. The agenda's pretty thin this week to the other item here. So Chris and Igor, I was hoping you would be able to provide an update just on the deployment discussion and future meeting plans there.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So we had a meeting last week with the OpenStack Helm team and Cola Kubernetes team, along with the Helm team. This has been a standing meeting that's been going on since late December, and there was kind of a desire from the Helm team to transition that to the OpenStack SIG and make it more of a OpenStack on Kubernetes application based, kind of application based thing. And so we're going to start that up next week. Steve and Ihor, I volunteered to run that and kind of use that as the seed for alternating the meetings between the OpenStack as a platform for Kubernetes versus Kubernetes as a platform for OpenStack. So I think we're just going to slot that into the time to the existing time slot that they've been using for next week, and tick-tocking between the two meetings that we have. How does that sound to everybody here?
That makes sense to me. The other question I was going to ask was whether you want to transition that to using the SIG's Zoom account as well. It's not particularly important, but ideally, if we want to make it all look like one happy family, we should do that at some point.
Yeah, that's something that that I think would be good too. I know that you've been setting up and running these meetings. I also set up a Zoom account for myself in case it was easier to start out there. So I have a paid account which is good for the next year, which I can use. But and I was hoping to maybe get a little bit of guidance from you, just how to set up the meeting invitations. So that's in the official Kubernetes meeting lists and how to set up the Zoom and do the recordings and post them and kind of all of that stuff. So that's something if maybe we don't have to do it during this meeting, but if you and I can maybe sit down and talk about how to do that, that I think that would be really useful.
Yeah, I'm going to attend these meetings as well, so we may join Chris with our forces, and I can organize that for us.
Okay. Sure, that sounds great.
Yeah, the question that I have, so have you agreed that we'll use the same slot as we have for the regular SIG OpenStack meetings, or would it be better to run like the doodle stuff for the mailing list, like to allow people to put their votes, what the time is more preferred for them? So is the slots that we have for the regular SIG OpenStack meetings good for us?
Yeah, I mean, I know that like the OpenStack Helm meetings, they had talked about, there was, I think it's, since that is kind of a standing meeting in a lot of people's calendars, I think that's probably a good place to start. And it doesn't, since they're kind of independent of one another, I think it's, we don't necessarily need to use the slots that we've grabbed here, unless there's conflicts with, unless there's conflicts with the larger Kubernetes community that we need to think about. I do know that that one person said that it would be nice if we could just alternate the times a little bit because they have a standing conflict. But I just figured to start off with, we would just take advantage of the existing time slot that the OpenStack on Helm meeting was using.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Keep continuity.
Yeah, that makes sense to me as well.
Yeah. The second question, so after we'll agree, I suppose that we have to send them the announcement to SIG OpenStack mailing list and probably to OpenStack dev as well. Probably some people from OpenStack community will be also interested in that. And we have to also update our README at Kubernetes community wiki. Not wiki, but yeah,
Yeah.
Kubernetes community space.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
One more question that I have, do you know where can we find the recording from our last meeting from Lakeland, who recorded it, Lakeland from Days?
I think Lachlan has just been posting it to his YouTube account. Let me see if I can find it.
Because I checked his YouTube account 2 days ago and there were no updates, no fresh videos.
Yeah, he may not have updated it yet. Yeah, we should maybe check in with him.
Okay. Oh yeah, the one thing I should mention with that actually, as part of the administrative year, we actually also have a YouTube channel for the SIG.
It would be great to post the meeting,
Yeah.
meeting recordings.
Yeah, so I've gradually been getting better at doing that for these meetings, but we should do that for the deployment ones as well.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. The final thing I just added, I just thought of, Igor, is there anything you need at the moment around the OpenStack Summit Kubernetes Day stuff. I know the CFP is open for another week or so at the moment.
Yeah, I'm currently discussing the process of reviewing the call for papers with CNCF. So what should this process be from their perspective? At the same time, as we have discussed with you privately, I'm going to count you into the list of reviewers. So we're expecting to have five till 10 reviewers for the call for papers. So if anybody here is also interested, maybe Chris, you are interested as well in reviewing the proposals for the talks. So feel free to reach me and I'll count you in as well.
Yeah, I'd be happy to help out with that. Do we have people been submitting talks? Do we have a good sample coming in already?
I'm not aware of the situation because CNCF manages that from their side. I will come back to them and ask them what is the current situation.
Okay. Yeah, if you want, we could, if we wanted to do some sort of small blog post, if you wanted to write up something about it, we could definitely get something posted to super user also, which, might, add some interest and some people submitting requests to it.
That should be great. And I suppose we have to do that before call for papers will close, right?
Yeah. So if you wrote something up, just a little bit of content, we can get that to Allison and Nicole on the foundation side, and they can kind of punch it up and get it posted to the super user side.
Yeah, great. I probably will work on that during this weekend. So at the beginning of next week, we'll have some blog posts for this, some blog post material, and we'll have enough time to involve people to join us with this initiative.
Okay.
All right, makes sense. So that was all I had this week, and I think we're pretty short on attendees as well. Does anyone have anything else they want to raise?
I have one more thing that I wanted to mention. So the OpenStack board meeting is happening right now, and literally as we speak. And I've remotely dialed into the sessions and have been kind of listening in. And I just, during that, during what's been going on there, Kubernetes, and the relationship between OpenStack and Kubernetes came up again. And there's, I know especially this meeting is pretty thin right now, but this is, I think that the work we're doing here is tremendously important. And I think that we're going to, just based off of the input from the board meeting today, I think that we're going to see kind of an uptick in attendance and participation in the coming year. So, I just want to say thanks, to both, Steve and Igor for, putting this together and running it and kind of creating this space and this platform for the collaborations to happen. I know that myself, and the rest of the foundation staff are really appreciative of it.
Yep, no problem. Obviously, hopefully we can get some more people involved this year.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else? Final call? Okay, short one today. All right, thanks everyone.
Steve, I have one question. I have also one question. So do you remember how many people were assigned for the alternative time of SIG OpenStack meetings, like for the European friendly time?
So if we go down...
As far as I remember, we had more people attending the previous meeting and European friendly time than now.
Yeah, so I'm going back down here. So the last 2100 was a little better than today. Yeah, that previous, at the earlier time, so we got Graham that time, and we've got a couple of other people who aren't here now. I think it's pretty variable. Yeah, I think we're definitely experiencing a drop-off on the number of people who can make this later time. And I think the DST switch is coming up as well, which may further impact that.
Yeah, because I suppose we may think again about it, about switching completely to like more European friendly time as we had more participants.
Yeah, I'll just make a note of that so it's explicitly recorded here, and then maybe we evaluate, if we have this happen again for the next one or two at this time slot, then we look to just condense on the one. Okay, just noted that there. All right, thanks everyone for your time. Hopefully we'll catch some more folks next time rather.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks everyone.